Rethinking social studies teacher education in the 21st century. How long have I waited? This is the reason why I attended the course Social Sciences because I wanted to change the students like me. I always ask why our education systems are like this. This is why it is so important to answer the first question of our introduction. What are we teaching social studies for? Or what for? Since high school, I already thought that our education system are created for future doom, and the creation of the said curriculums are so dependent with external demands like politics or trends, rather than major factor like students' growth and filling the gaps of the system. Before, I have no interest in looking into the roots of this problem or any problem of any sort. For I am so young and just living to enjoy little things. But now, as a man, I need to take responsibility. Responsibility in the future of my generation and my own kids included. There are tons of different reasons to consider, and the educational approach is something to be blamed, and social studies under education is a good start to look into. Personally, the obvious gaps and lapses of the system is the reason why I hate school. I break the rules every now and then. Everyone knows that. I cut classes just like everyone did. And I believe that school is nothing but food for your honor and pride and self satisfaction. Things that I won't and will never consider as any form of happiness. Surely I am not alone. Talking about dropouts, the country dropout rates revealed an alarming of 83.7%, meaning the country is producing 2.13 million college dropouts annually. This is the statistical distrust of people towards higher education. Maybe 25 years ago, finishing school is a gate pass for a decent paying job, settling for a family, or just about everything that a middleman needed to survive. However, that ain't practical these days. I'm not just gonna talk about business people like I always preach, which in itself is already an evidence, but in the context of success, being a dropout or even those who didn't obtain a technical education doesn't mean that you will always be a failure. How about those professionals who engage in sports? Do you know LeBron James, the best player in the world, never stepped in college because he was too good in his field? Contrary of that idea, do you know that some of the NBA players are considered not suitable for their sports because they are too good in their academics? How about people in coaching, finance, managers, and farmers? How about them? Professions that requires skills that can be learned through experience with an optional 4 years bachelor's degree, right? The security of our future is very demanding. The world we live provides us with endless possibilities. It is this contingency that created the necessity to answer the question, what for? Social sciences. Why do we have to study social sciences? As society has grappled with new and recurring social issues, changing norms, and shifting political priorities, these debates have also shaped the content and character of social studies education. Assuredly, social studies teachers like us will continue to confront enduring issues such as inequality, discrimination, injustice, and intolerance. However, these issues will manifest themselves within the context of a 21st century society that has an evolving connection with technology, expanding understanding of borders, and transforming relationship with how it accesses knowledge. Moreover, with different persisting innovation sectors, it is easy to lose track of the courses that keeps our world into function. Social studies teachers will help determine what is worthwhile to pursue, or what societal influences are allowed into curriculum will be determined by how teachers answer the question of what for. Another thing to answer the question what for is the importance of social studies in any field of professional studies. Because professionals rely on base of scholarly and practical knowledge, they require a moral understanding to aim and guide their practice. Therefore, in any professional preparation, it is expected to produce with their professionalism that involves social purpose that are both technically and morally grounded. Morally grounded are a thing that we forgot these days, or most of the professional forgot these days. The ability to ask the what for question every now and then in social studies will supply the remaining room for discussion towards trust in education. With the ability to self regulate, the question what for also provides an opportunity to rethink or reimagine the structures and practices of social teacher education. After all, even people like me exist, the hope for a better education is not dead. We can still help students and even professions to strive forward to a certain standard of interest and professionalism. Look, guys, listen to me. Our educational system in the Philippines is obviously sick. This makes our generation sick. We sanctify too much the ideology of individualism. We normalize everything that we benefit from personally through the abuse of influence, sympathy, and even hatred, for God's sake, hatred towards people who stay civil. Things that can easily be achieved these days. In example, social media. Influencers can easily mislead ideas, and that's dangerous. Haven't you asked questions? What's wrong with us? What's wrong in this generation? Aren't we scared? Because personally, I am. I believe that if people will keep insisting on what they believe in personally, it will lead to anarchy and, and chaos and war. And for me, that's pretty scary. I don't know about you. Insisting mask ideologies to people asking for their sympathy. But for me, that's very dangerous. In a future run, that's very deadly. That's why in this book, teacher educators explicitly or implicitly share their visions for the purposes of social studies teacher education. In particular, these purposes are framed to teacher education, rethink, reimagine, repurpose, and reconfigure the existing system, which I love. If we customize political policies, if we can customize technologies, if we have the ability to customize even the space exploration, answering all these questions about social concern in terms of education is a child's play. When we start, I say within this book, kudos.